Welcome back, YouTube family. My name is Ruslanji, for those of you who haven't been here before, and I am your host every single day that you're subscribed to this YouTube channel. And I hope you stick it out till the end of this video because I have a really special one for you. For those of you who are my crypto punks out there that believe in the future of blockchain technology. And that is what we're gonna be talking about today because we are talking about Cardano. For those of you who haven't heard of Cardano, don't worry because we're gonna talk about exactly what it is and the impact that it might have in comparison to other highly reputable cryptocurrencies and blockchain technologies. And before we dive in, make sure to smash the like button. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today's episode. And without further ado, let's dive into Cardano. Let's go. All right, you're probably familiar with Ethereum and Bitcoin, and we're going to talk about how Cardano might be able to solve some of the problems that those networks have inherently. Now, of course, Cardano is a little bit elusive because it is a newer project, but I'm going to tell you exactly what Cardano is, and then we will talk about if it's possible for Cardano to beat out Bitcoin and Ethereum in its use case and ability to scale. So Cardano, what is Cardano? This is directly from Cardano's website. Cardano is a proof of stake blockchain platform, the first to be founded on peer-reviewed research and developed through evidence-based methods. It combines pioneering technologies to provide unparalleled security and sustainability to decentralized application systems and societies. Now, this is obviously buzzword. So as far as understanding what Cardano truly is, here is an example of what proof of stake and proof of work are, and then I'll tell you exactly how it fares with Ethereum and Bitcoin. So proof of work on the left and proof of stake on the right. So proof of work is a requirement to define an expensive computer calculation, also called mining. This is what Bitcoin does. This is what Ethereum has done. It's about to change. At the time you're watching this video, it might have already changed. And proof of stake is the creator of a new block is chosen in a deterministic way depending on its wealth, also defined as stake. So the more money you have, the more you get back. Usually it's percentage based. So again, proof of work on the left, a reward is given to the first miner who solves each block's problem. So obviously the more computer miners you have, the more chance of you actually getting a reward. And the POS system, proof of staking system, there is no block reward. So the miners take the transaction fees. Obviously, if there's no transactions on the network, then there's no fees to collect. That is why it's important to build out a very, very cheap and fast system. And we'll talk about that in a second. So for proof of work, the network miners compete to be the first to find a solution for the mathematical problem. Meanwhile, proof of stake currencies can be thousands of times more cost effective. Now, let's look at the differences between Cardano, Ethereum, and Bitcoin and how they match up when you put them side by side. So here we have Cardano, Bitcoin, and Ethereum and their features as far as, their transaction fees, scalability, et cetera. Let's talk about that because this is super, super important in understanding what it's planning to solve. So when you talk about energy consumption, this is exactly what we talk about proof of stake versus proof of work. Proof of work costs a lot of energy for the network to operate. So 77 terawatt hours to be exact. And Ethereum, until it switches to proof of stake, is about 14.8 terawatt hours. And Cardano, the whole network is 0.00052 terawatt hours per year. Huge difference. Now, transaction fees are also something to note because every transaction on the Cardano network costs around 21 cents. Obviously, this is based off of the Cardano price, right? So 0.17 Cardano, about 21 cents at the time of making this video. Bitcoin, on the other hand, is around $20, and it's actually going to get more and more expensive as Bitcoin's price goes up. And Ethereum is about the same as well, $20. Kind of expensive if you ask me. Now, scalability, Cardano is supported by the core consensus pool. Now, Bitcoin is more of a slow adoption of the Lightning Network. Obviously, I'm not going to be transacting a lot of Bitcoin back and forth, so scalability and transaction fees don't really matter all that much in Bitcoin. But when you talk about energy consumption, that is a really big deal. Now, for Ethereum scalability, it's a work in progress for the last 4 years, and there's no estimated time of arrival for it. So formal verification is available on Cardano and is not available on neither network. And as you guys can see, the transaction confirmation time is, good on Cardano, pretty good on Ethereum, but terrible on Bitcoin. And smart contract support, we already have that with Ethereum, but we are gonna get that with Cardano very, very soon, and it's just not available with Bitcoin. Same thing with NFTs, not available with Bitcoin, but is available on Cardano and is also available on Ethereum. So when you compare Cardano, it's very similar to Ethereum, but it has some advantages, and especially a lot of advantages when it comes to Bitcoin. Now, when you talk about Cardano's market cap, it's sitting under $40 billion. But when you compare that to Ethereum, which is currently sitting around $200 billion, that clearly tells you that it has some room to grow. In fact, it probably has at least, 5, 7, 8x to at least catch up to Ethereum, which would be a great feat since Bitcoin and Ethereum have been the number 1 and 2 cryptocurrencies for quite some time now, pretty much since 2017. With all the perks of Cardano, you might be wondering, why isn't it the number 1 currency already? Well, there are some things that needs to be worked out with Cardano. So the first thing we need to look at is the case for Cardano. At its core, the argument for Cardano is that the protocol and the platform simply are better. Relative to Ethereum, Cardano is cheaper. Ethereum's gas fees continue to be a problem. Relative to Bitcoin, Cardano is far better for the environment, while Bitcoin's electricity usage continues to be criticized. Now that's getting better as well, but it's just not gonna ever beat Cardano's. So Cardano's footprint is far smaller. As a proof of stake rather than a proof of work mechanism, Cardano uses forgers instead of miners. Forgers stake existing holdings for the opportunity to win transaction fees. That's what we covered earlier. Now, the end result between proof of stake and proof of work is essentially the same. Proof of stake is virtual and far less energy intensive. Indeed, Ethereum itself is moving to the proof of stake mechanism. So if a crypto bull is looking for a decentralized finance applications, Cardano should have the edge. If bulls are uncomfortable with Bitcoin's significant environmental footprint, Cardano's POS mechanism should be more attractive as well. Now, what are the problems with Cardano? Well, going forward, Cardano claims to be both more adaptable and more secure as well. It's managed by 3 separate organizations that focus on what the platform calls evidence-based development. The immutable underlying blockchain records every transaction, boosting security in a crypto ecosystem that has had multiple high-profile hacks. I mean, there's been a ton, you can look them up. But these features create an adaptable platform with myriad use cases. Last month, the Cardano Foundation's CEO argued that the Cardano blockchain could be used for settlement of stock trades. Very interesting. This would have avoided entirely the infamous restrictions that broker Robinhood placed on GameStop and other meme stocks, including Dogecoin. Restrictions driven by Robinhood's capital requirements. That's just one example. And in theory, Cardano literally can revolutionize multiple aspects of the financial system. But there are 2 problems in the way. The first one being the adoption problem. The problem being is that a better ecosystem may not be enough. If you don't remember, Betamax was reputably better than VHS, and it cost Sony billions of dollars to make Blu-ray triumph over HD DVD. Few consumers believe McDonald's makes the better hamburgers, even among fast food chains. That issue is magnified for cryptocurrency. The so-called network effect is paramount. More users and more owners means more developers. That in turn means more projects, more use cases, and thus more users and more owners, and so on. It gets pretty crazy.
That's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy.
Bitcoin's move to a store value concept perhaps makes it less of a direct competitor to Cardano. In fact, the 2 cryptocurrencies can coexist, but Ethereum has a big lead, and Ethereum 2.0 will add some of the features that make Cardano attractive. Obviously, the huge rise in ADA to USD, which has risen more than 5-fold in just 2021, ameliorates the problem somewhat. But Cardano still has a market cap of around 40 billion against 200 billion for Ethereum and a cool 1 trillion for BTC, which is now 600 billion, but we won't talk about that too much. The difference in users and volume means that developers may choose an even lesser platform if that platform has greater reach. This is true. And the second problem is building out the capabilities. Cardano is unfortunately still lacking many capabilities that Ethereum even has. It's pretty much still a work in progress. Even its founder admits as such. Smart contracts should arrive later this year. Ethereum already has smart contracts. Ethereum 2.0 will make programming those contracts even easier. One industry observer told Bloomberg, "I'm not aware of a single popular application deployed on Cardano." In theory, the platform is enormously attractive. In practice, there simply isn't much there yet. To be fair, both problems are massive opportunities. ADA's market cap is less than 1/6 that of Ethereum. The fact that it's less well known in theory creates a larger pool of buyers who can bid up the price. And what Cardano looks like in 2022 and 2025 is not what it looks like now. Improvements to the platform too can attract more optimism and more buyers, investors, right? Cardano can be a huge winner in crypto. In the absolute best case scenario, it could wind up being the biggest winner in crypto. But at the end of the day, the developers and the ecosystem have a lot of work ahead and big stumbling blocks to clear. So what about the price predictions like this, where they say, can Cardano price reach $5? Well, in fact, I think it can. I mean, when we're talking about 5-6x just to get to Ethereum's price, we're talking about maybe, a $7-8 Cardano. I don't think that $5 is out of reach. Now, I do think that that's not going to happen anytime soon. I think there's a lot to be said about the things that Cardano needs to work on, especially the things that Ethereum already has if it aims to compete with Ethereum at the same scale. That's also not to take away that it is the 5th biggest cryptocurrency on the market today. That doesn't mean that it's not going to scale back and go to the 6th, 7th, 8th if better projects come out, but it also doesn't mean that it's going to the 2nd or 3rd spot right away. So even though I'm very bullish on Cardano long term, I think it's already had a lot of its value priced into the cryptocurrency as a whole over the last 2 to 3 years. Now, of course, there are other projects that are going to compete with Cardano that are already on the market. If you'd like me to do a video on those, let me know which cryptocurrencies you want to learn more about down in the description below, and I'd be more than happy to do an in-depth analysis like I've done with Cardano or like any other stock or cryptocurrency that you might have seen on the channel. So hopefully you got a bunch of value from this video. If you did, don't forget to smash the like button if you haven't already. Leave me something down in the comment section below if you'd like. And if you want to check out the links down in the description, I have a bunch of free money links that pretty much give you free money just for trying out their applications, like Robinhood. Maybe you're not a fan of Robinhood, but there's WeBull, Public, Stash, M1 Finance, and a bunch of others down there. If you want to go check them out, let them know that Ruslan sent you, and hopefully you guys have an awesome rest of your day. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.